think there's maybe a couple contenders for what's been hardest for students this year. One, I think, especially earlier on, was probably the lack of social interaction, not being able to see their friends as much. This was when we were fully remote. I think even when classes resumed, many students chose not to come back, at least for a time. And so, having classes with 2 or 3 students in them felt a little bit strange. So that was definitely a challenge for students who really value that social interaction. I also think that, and this is to an extent, this is anecdotal, but my colleagues and I on our team have noticed that the students who choose to remain at home, not all of them, but a number of them tend to do worse academically over time. Now, this could be because of their age, 7th grade, they're 12, 13 years old. But we've noticed that over time, they tend to disengage a bit more. Their grades tend to drop a little. Their work completion and participation in class tend to go down. And I think it's because, again, I think some of this is developmental. I don't necessarily think that, a junior or senior in high school would have the same level of struggle here, but they don't have parent oversight at home often. And there are so many distractions and so many other things to do on the computer while class is going on that I think it can lead them to, their attention slips and wanders. So that has been a big challenge as well. I think those are probably 2 of the biggest that I've noticed.
The most challenging part of the hybrid system has definitely been the asynchronous days where everything is up to me and I have to make my own schedule and I have to do all of the learning myself. Granted, the teacher may give me a video, but at the end of the day, that teacher's saying those exact same words in that video, even if I choose to rewind. And you can't ask that teacher a question in person and they can't respond and try to adjust the way that they're explaining something to you. And so it puts a lot more pressure on students to be independent learners, which is good and bad because for a lot of kids, they're still figuring out what it means to be a student for them and what works best for them. So it's definitely really hard to, gain that knowledge in a way that is solely reliant on you.
I think some of the positives from the way things have gone this year, one would be increased flexibility for students and teachers, but I think maybe students primarily, or at least that's what I'm thinking. I know that there are some days that students just kind of think, what, I would do better if I stayed home today. I know what I need to do. I know what I need to submit. I have other things going on that are important to me. And they're able to do those things and balance their school and personal lives a little bit more effectively. I will say that I don't think that 7th graders, in my experience, are on average very good at this yet, although some of them handle it quite well. So I think having that additional flexibility to be at home and go to school is one positive. Another positive is when we've had professional development for teachers, we have often been able to do that from home, especially if whatever was on our agenda that day didn't really require that much face-to-face interaction or anything that needed to be done specifically in person. So that's made it a little more convenient. So yeah, that flexibility and I think that's one of the biggest positives.